Why is it taking so long, or why doesn't it seem like we can move the button on diversity in neighborhoods?
Because the people who have the power in this country are the people who have the money. And the people who have the money are going to decide where people live. You need to realize that there are more children attending segregated schools in the United States today than there were previous to Brown versus Board of Education. And that's a fact. You need to realize that it is not the intent of white people to let this situation change in favor of anyone but themselves. And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, "The main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country." He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you exactly, almost exactly what he says. He says there are three things we can do to solve this. Number one, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those wanting to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you? And if it doesn't, I want to know why it doesn't. If it doesn't, you don't understand what racism is. And I think it does. When we close Planned Parenthood clinics because we think they're there only for abortion, we need to take another look. They are used for many, many, many things, and many women need the things that they can get from Planned Parenthood clinics. But we are willing to do away with all that good to avoid allowing white women to have control of their own bodies. Now, nobody had better tell one of my daughters or granddaughters what they can do with their body. You haven't that right. Now, it would be interesting if we were as concerned about sperm cells, wouldn't it? I mean, we could take a whole lot of fun out of you boys' lives.
Right. A lot of people don't understand the trauma associated with race and racism. Can you talk a little bit about the trauma associated with?
The trauma associated with it?
Yeah.
One of the main traumas is it tells white people that they are superior because of the lack of melanin in their skin. And then they find out suddenly that we've got a black president. That's traumatic. That's where their trauma is. Living a lie, finding out the truth is traumatic. Finding out now, recently, that within 30 years, white people will be in the numerical minority in this country is going to be traumatic. And that's the reason we have to solve this problem, and we have to solve it now. I will ask folks tonight, how many of you black folks want to get even with all white people? And that's what white people are quite certain blacks are going to want to do, is get even with all white people. And nobody will raise their hand. And then I'll say, how many of you want to get even with one or two? Every hand will go up, and you know why, and so do I. White people are scared to death right now, particularly white males. They're scared to death that they are going to lose their power in the future. And they are. But if you want to get ready for the future, if you want to be treated well in the future, treat others well in the present. What we do in the present constructs the future. What we have done in the past, we can learn from that. And we'd better learn from that. Those who forget the mistakes of the past are doomed to repeat them. And when you read this book, you'll realize that that's exactly what we're doing. We're repeating the mistakes that we have made in the past because we aren't teaching about these mistakes in the present. We are not teaching history that is true. We aren't teaching social studies that is true. We aren't even teaching true geography, for God's sake.
I'm Vic Myers. Welcome to The Resistance. I've been trying for a while now to figure out how to talk about something that's been on my mind, and recent events, I think, finally pushed it up. What I want to say is that racism is a white people problem. A white people problem that others are forced to live with. As a white man, I've never had to be afraid of being pulled over by the cops. As a white father, I've never had to have that special talk with my kids about not looking wrong or saying the wrong thing to a cop for fear that they wouldn't come home again. I've never had to worry about being turned down for a mortgage because of the color of my skin or where to go jogging. Never had to worry that I could be scooped up by ICE just for looking like I might belong to the wrong group, even though I was born here. I've never committed the misdemeanor crime of selling cigarettes. But if I did, it wouldn't be a capital offense. These are things that people of color have to deal with every stinking day. These are things that white people allow, that white people cause. I think I'm finally ready to talk about it now because of the state that our country's in, the permission that Donald Trump has given for racist behavior, and the hope I recently felt when I saw the latest poll numbers. For reasons that never made sense to me, Donald Trump has gained support in nearly every demographic when he won his last election, including non-white communities. But now, recent polling suggests that just about everybody is finally seeing him for what he is. They're seeing his racism, and the racism emanating from this administration like stink from a skunk. And they're saying it's not okay. He's lost everything that he gained, and then some, among all these groups. Well, every group except one. That one group is white, non-college educated men, the last stronghold of Trump's race-based politics. Polling indicates that a majority of this group is still standing solidly behind Trump and his policies. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be any better off under Trump's policies than anybody else. Maybe one day they'll realize that their racism isn't worth what they're losing. And maybe the rest of us will realize something too, that racism is a white people problem, and it's up to white people to solve it. It's up to white people to call it out among their coworkers, their friends, and their family. It's up to white people to be the loudest and proclaim that racism is no longer acceptable in American institutions. It's up to white people to make sure that we're not voting for the racists. Thanks for listening. Good day.
You can literally not tell me that what this woman just said and what this man just said, it is wrong. That is the current situation that is making every single thing look like every single effort that Black people are trying to put is being aborted. That is one thing that has literally been holding Americans stagnant instead of pushing them forward. I'll let you guys continue this video. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. My name is Sonia. If this is the first time tuning in, let me know what you think. Let's finish up this video and I'll be back with commentaries.
Fellow white people, we need to have a talk. What do you say we end racism? Our ancestors are the ones who created it as a way to dehumanize and make others, Black people, think and feel like they were less than. Let's end that shit. We're all equal. Black people are amazing. All people, well, not all people. Most people are pretty fantastic. So let's end racism. It started with us. Let's end it with us. What do you think? What do you think? If you hear someone saying the N-word, call them out on it. Embarrass them. Humiliate them. Fuck that. Fuck that word. Let's end racism. We created it. Let's end it.
Sometimes in my comments, people say, if I just stop talking about racism, it would go away. If only. But that's not how any of this works. Look, if silence fixed racism, we'd be living in a post-racial paradise right now. The reason so many of us, especially white folks, don't know how to deal with racism is because we don't talk about it. We don't know how to talk about it. We don't do it in schools, not in church, not at dinner parties, not even at our home dinner tables with our kids. What we did learn was how to change the subject, how to flinch when someone brought it up, how to get real uncomfortable real fast, and then blame that discomfort on the person who brought it up. But racism doesn't disappear just because you pretend it's impolite to mention it. It thrives in silence. It festers when it's ignored. Talking about it is not the problem. Talking about it is the first step toward understanding it and undoing it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So nope, I'm not going to stop talking about it. And if that makes you squirm a little, maybe you need to sit with that a little bit and figure out what that's trying to tell you. One share or comment or save shows that you care about setting the record straight and that you don't want to just sweep it under the rug. Follow me for more truth telling, and if you're so motivated, please consider supporting my work at coffee.com/Kelly Snyder. Get curious.
Anyways, welcome back, guys, and I hope you guys have seen all of that clip. And the very first question I have is, why is it that this same thing that has literally eaten deep into the system, this same thing that has literally kept a lot of people stagnant, this same thing that has literally made every single effort that Black people are trying to create, why is it that till now a lot of ignorant people do not see anything wrong or do not see anything bad in it? Why? Why? Because we have gotten to that point whereby a lot of people should sit down, think, and know what exactly is the problem of this country. And you know the annoying part? A lot of people know exactly what is happening. They know exactly what the issue is. But the demon inside of them will not let them see those things, know that those things they are doing is wrong. They will always see it as what they are doing is right. And that is why I cannot keep thanking white folks enough who are bold enough, fearless enough to be able to come out and air out. To be able to come out and let us know that, yeah, this is where the problem is coming from. And if not until they are able to fix this problem, then we are still going to be left one place. Most of these things never started today. It was created, a lot of them created their nonsense memories from when they are childhood till adulthood. Swallow it, chew it, sat on it, and decided that no matter what you do, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change. I've also brought a video where I literally talked about, do you think that this thing called racism will actually be eradicated totally from America? And at the conclusion of that video, we concluded that because there are some people that are not ready to learn. There are some people that even when they're seeing that this thing is wrong, they tend to tag it as this is actually the best thing. There is nothing wrong with it. Why are you saying it's wrong? What is wrong with this thing? But they know the truth. But they know it's wrong. They know that they are not even supposed to be going to that level. Only few, only few, only few. Honestly, I fear for the next generation to come, to be honest. I fear so much. And that is why I keep telling black folks, please do everything in your possible best to educate your children. Let them know the environment they are. Let them know what is involved. Let them know the disadvantage and the advantage of the society. Because the environment is becoming so toxic. It's becoming so toxic that if not by the grace of God, a lot of our children are going to go sour. And now calm down, check in the life of everything that has literally been happening. Who are the people committing more offense? Who are the people committing more crimes? Who are the people doing the thing that they are always saying, oh, black people this, black people that, black people east, black people west? These said people. These said people. These said people. Segregation every time. Eating alone, wanting to sit upon all the whole wealth that is supposed to be shared. It is not only happening in the US, even in this country that I am, where everything that the leaders think about is just their pockets to be enriched, just their family to be enriched, just their name to be heard. You guys, if you're not following this woman, the first woman that spoke in my clip, Elliot, you are missing out because she always speaks facts and nothing but the truth. Anyways, let me know what you think about this video. Credit belongs to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking my videos, dropping commentaries, commenting, sharing. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are the best. But anyways, with that being said, with no further ado, I'd like to say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye and I'll see you guys in my next one. Do not touch the dial and come back for more. Bye for now, guys. I love you guys. Mwah.